let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Verification of notice.
It was posted at 3 physical locations and on the website.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, we'll move on to number 3, public comment. Okay. Did you want to make public comment? Or?
Just that we got a letter from the Village of Cambridge regarding the procedure, the Fire Commission, and I'd like us to continue to look into our options with the Cambridge and Fire and EMS.
All right, thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to number 4, approval of minutes from June 17th, 2025 town board meeting. You have a revised copy that has the highlights on it. So if you had a chance to look at it before, what has changed is clarifying that the final plat for the preserve at Oakland was for phase 1, and also the requirements for the operator's license for John Henricks was added to that. Anyone want to make a motion to approve?
So moved.
I'll
Okay.
second it.
We have a motion and second. Any other further discussions? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of the meeting minutes on your desk, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. I'll move on to number 5, police chief's report. Chief Leonard isn't here, but he asked Officer Whiting to come and give us one. Please come on up. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you. Not a whole lot of news from the police department. We did log 42 hours of patrol on the boat in the month of June, and I think almost that already in July. Of course, 4th of July weekend, we were out a lot. So those were, I think, 3 12-hour days we were out there, so,
Oh, well.
yeah.
That's good news too, because we've been having some reports about wake boat activity and other things, so I'm sure you probably issued some citations over the
Yeah,
weekend.
it was a good weekend for enforcement, correct, yeah. And Armando's feeling a lot better now, so he's
Good.
going to be getting back out there some, so, yes.
Good. So were you, to ask what Jimmy talked about, were you finding that people were using their wake boats?
The first time we contact them, we've never had contact with them before we give them a warning.
Okay.
And then second contact and further is citations.
Do you think these are people that are coming into the lake or people
Yeah.
that are here
No, I
that
think-
should know of the new ordinance?
No, I think it's Madison
Okay,
coming out.
so that's understandable.
Yeah. So even though they should know that,
Mhm.
right?
Is it, yeah, I
Yes, very
suppose-
clearly posted.
Is it posted
Yeah.
there?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I haven't been down there, so I have
Oh,
no
yeah.
idea what it
Yeah.
looks like there. So,
Well,
okay.
thank you for keeping an eye on
Yes.
that.
A reminder to town residents that golf carts are not allowed on the roadways, even to go to the club and back, unless they are upgraded to a motorized vehicle. So if they are turn signals, lights, safety belts, etc., then they can drive on the roadway. If not, they're considered a play vehicle and they're not supposed to be on the roadway.
Does that include Park Road too?
It does.
I mean,
Ripley.
can they, a motorized golf, whatever, can they go on Park Road? I thought it had to be under a certain speed limit.
No, I think it's 35 miles an hour or under. Yeah. So
Okay.
they can be on Park and Ripley,
Okay,
as long as they're upgraded to a motorized vehicle and licensed.
okay,
Yeah.
good, thanks.
On the other hand, ATVs are allowed on all of our town roads unless otherwise posted prohibited. So, and again, they have to be licensed and registered in the state, so.
Okay.
We are in the process of hiring 2 new officers for additional road support and lake patrol. So. And then, of course, residents are encouraged to call the police department, any related matters that officers can follow up on when they're on duty. That's all I have.
Great, thank you.
All right,
Does anyone
thanks,
have
Scott.
any questions? Okay.
All right?
All right, great, thank you so much. Fire chief's report is next on the agenda. I know that Chief Peterson had a conflict with his city council meeting tonight, so he wasn't going to be able to come, but I guess Chief Rusk wasn't able either. So we'll move on to discussion and possible action on Lake Ripley public boat launch modifications. Zach, why don't you come up and just take a seat?
So thanks for having me. My name is Zach Simpson. I'm with Strand Associates. Laura asked me just to give kind of a quick overview of what we're talking about tonight related to the boat launch. And so I believe you guys are looking at complete replacement of the launch facility and then repaving the area immediately, I guess it'd be south of the launch. But primarily the focus would be to improve the ramp and the dockage, along with some other kind of minor improvements, I'll say. But so we've been tasked with providing a contract for consideration to basically take you through that process, starting with topographic survey and data collection, and then kind of looking at a couple different concepts. And those concepts would be focused around trying to improve circulation, maybe looking at some different parking alternatives, and then looking at options for the ramp and dock itself. And then you guys would basically select an option, and the next step would then be to pursue funding for it. So I don't know exactly what's in your packet other than maybe our SOQ and the contract, but there's two different funding mechanisms that we would push the town to pursue. One is the recreational boating facilities grant through DNR. And the other
Yeah,
one
we
is the
have that.
sport and fish restoration grant through the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. We've had tremendous success getting money through RBF with DNR, particularly in situations like yours where the launch is kind of in disrepair and there's some opportunity there. So a couple things come to mind: providing ADA accessible dock, and then just improving the overall ramp. It looks like it's maybe a little bit short. I don't know if you get a lot of complaints about people getting hung up on
Yeah.
it. I stopped out there on my way here, and this was not my, should have started by saying this isn't my project, this is another coworker's project, but he's on vacation, so I'm kind of filling in. So I did stop and look at the launch. I've done a number of these launches myself, so I'm pretty familiar with the process. But yeah, I noticed right away that the ramp's
we
a little
just-
short, and it looks like there's a little bit of a washout on the back side of it. So you probably get a lot of complaints about people hanging trailer tires up and that kind of thing. So I think those are the big opportunities. So trying to improve parking probably isn't very realistic. You're pretty limited with right-of-way. There's a couple things we could look at. But again, I think there's some merit there to pursue some grant funds. The RBF grant will fund up to 50% of your project, which is a pretty solid number. And then the sport fish restoration grant you can actually use as match. And depending on the year, we've actually been able to use that as, I should say, the year and the size of project, we've been able to actually use that to completely cover the rest of it. So those funds are good for planning, design, and construction as well. So
Does the
it's,
sport fishing have certain or not requirements, but items that make it easier to get? Because one thing we have is a wake limit, so, because so
Yep.
for silent sports and fishermen, we have a no wake until, or we have wake until from 11 to 7:30, right?
Yeah, there's not really any additional specific requirements for that. It's actually kind of funny because the application is almost identical to the RBF grant, and it actually doesn't get fully utilized some years. And DNR uses those federal funds internally too, so depending on the year, there's more available from an administrative standpoint than other years. So we don't know what they're gonna have available next year, but it's certainly worth talking about. and
So the
preparing
DNR
for it.
controls both, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they
The
do.
federal and the state?
They do, yep.
According to your report here too, it also noted that we would most likely score very high in our grant application process because it is the only city launch
Yep.
on the lake that would score us high. And if we decided to do the ADA accessible ramp and dock with a possible floating dock, right, it would score us high too. It's possible this full project could be fully grant funded.
Yep.
So,
So
and,
you-
and with the,
yep.
gra-
It's
with the
only
grant,
public launch on the lake.
yeah, the only one public, right?
Right.
Would you actually write those grants, or was that something the town, or would you work with all of us to do that?
We've done that for municipalities in the past, where we'll gather information from the town and municipality, but we typically would write that. And
Right.
that's part of our scoping here.
Yeah.
So, so I should give you a little background too, is that Justin Gutaski, who's the project manager, he's on vacation, so he is the project manager that I've worked with the subdivision for the stormwater and the rest of the agreements. And he came out on my request, and the two of us, along with Jeff and Leanna, went and toured the boat ramp. And so he became familiar with that and what we were expecting to complete, what our desires were. And so, yeah, he's very familiar with that as well. And then it looks like here, Justin had sent us, it was on your table, recreational boating facility experiences. So it seems like you have been awarded quite a bit of the projects that you have applied for.
Yeah, and actually, all but one of these projects are mine, so.
Oh, great.
If you have any questions about any of them, I'm happy to talk through it. We have the Jefferson Park boat launch in Menasha is actually just bid out last month, so that one's gonna be starting likely in the next couple of weeks, and that, it's a bigger launch. I mean, it's a kind of a different animal, but they got about 50% of that funded through RBF. So it's a $2 million project, and they were able to get funding for about $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big deal, and it feels like it's an underutilized program to me a little bit. So I'm glad to see that you guys are considering it.
So if approved tonight to allow you to start creating this proposal, I read your timeline in your report also. So we're looking at next year having final proposals, and
Yeah.
then possibly construction in the late fall of next year?
It's probably would be a 2027 construction,
Okay.
if I had to guess. So I can kind of talk through that process. So DNR has, I think, 3 or 4 different times in the year where they'll accept an application.
We missed the June
You
one.
missed the June date, which is the primary target date, where all the money is available for that fiscal year. They do have another one in September, but that is really more or less in case that there are funds left after their August Waterway Commission meeting. So the way that it works is you would probably target a June date. You don't have enough time to get to that point by September, but it's also unlikely that there's going to be funds. The amount of funds that you would need available in September anyways. You may be able to apply twice. You could apply in September, though, to cover the design cost, and then apply again in June to cover
Oh.
construction.
Okay.
So that's an option. And Justin and I talked a little bit about this. I believe he talked to DNR, he talked to
Yes.
Cheryl Housley at DNR quite a bit about the options too, but it's kind of open-ended, and you gotta be a little bit fluid with it, just because you don't know what's gonna happen in August at their Waterway Commission meeting. I mean, there's been years where the funds only fund half the projects. There's been years where there's a separate fund for inland and Great Lakes. So
Right.
if nobody applies for Great Lakes, they'll make a motion to move that money into the inland fund, and then that becomes available in September or November after the September submittal. So I guess the bottom line is, in order to get in the game, you kind of have to do some legwork on the front end. Some of that could be retroactively paid for by the DNR if you're successful with the grant application too. So just because you're paying for it on the front end doesn't mean you're gonna end up footing the bill for it necessarily.
So it looked like, talking to Justin, that, he gave us this timeline, and between November and February of 2026, so November 2025 to February 2026, they would prepare construction documents, that would be 60% complete. And we would need that to submit to the,
Yep, so one thing that for both grant applications, they actually prefer that you have permits in hand. So what we've been doing is taking the design documents to a point where we can submit for your permits. And then the DNR feels pretty comfortable that the project will move forward, of course. I did find out last year that you also get extra points if you have a shovel-ready design too. So that's something we could talk about. It really just means you have to send them stamped drawings. They don't necessarily have to be final, but you get 2 extra points for that. So I just don't know if we could get there by February or not. That would be the only challenge.
Well,
So that February date, I think he's backing off of the June deadline because it takes about 3 months to get your Chapter 30 permitting approved, typically through DNR.
okay. And then the cost estimate to get to that 60% completion, so it would include all the items that are listed in the email as well as on the proposal itself. It would be the survey, the design, preparing the 60% completion drawings, and then the submittals. And that would be a cost estimate of $42,000. Currently, we had put in our 2025 budget was $10,000 because we weren't sure what to put in there and how much we would get done this year. But talking to Justin, it seems like we should be able to cover, anything that we do for this year, we should be able to pay with that $10,000. So that would include the survey and some other work, and he said we could work around if we needed to,
Yeah.
go into the new year with that.
Right, so he's saying that you could sign the contract for the full amount, but you would only expend the $10,000
Right.
that you've budgeted for.
For this
I think
year.
that would get you through survey and probably some of the conceptual stuff
Right.
pretty easily.
And then we would just need to put it into our budget for 2026.
So the remainder of the 42,000?
Right, correct. And then we would, I assume we'd have to talk about how much it would cost after.
Yeah, so I think what I would propose is that you allot that amount of money into your 2026 budget. And then, assuming you apply in June, you wouldn't find out until after the August Waterway Commission meeting. And then those funds wouldn't be obligated until probably like October, but you could ask for final design funding as part of that. So then towards the end of the year, you would have a really good idea of what's remaining. The final design would happen over winter and probably into 2027, and then that's when you would bid out the project. And then you would use the funding that you've got awarded through DNR to build it in 2027. And you'd have time to budget the remaining funds if there's match or what have you.
Okay.
and then the grant applications would start for that, most likely, and
Well, the grant application would be either awarded or not approved in August of '26.
so we'll know for sure.
So you'll know then, and then you can react to that.
Then we would know what we
Right.
have to budget for '27.
Exactly.
Right,
Yep.
okay.
And
'Cause
part of the
we-
process is actually for us to generate opinions of probable construction cost or estimates. So that's part of the grant application, but it should also be part of your capital planning too. So they kind of dovetail together, they kind of go hand in hand. Does that make sense?
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
What do we need, a motion to let them continue? Is that what you need?
Yes, to accept the proposal,
From
and then
staff?
if we accept the proposal, then we can get a copy to sign.
So
I'll make a motion then.
Oh,
Are we looking at upgrades of any kind or just repairs is what it sounds like?
No, I think, in my opinion, the ramp
Upgrades,
replacement would be an upgrade, just based on what I saw. And then if you talked about floating dockage, that would be an upgrade. It would be ADA accessible. There'd be a concrete abutment and a gangway that's ADA accessible that goes out to that floating dock. So I would call that improvement.
Okay.
And then they would give us two conceptual designs for us to choose from. So they would come back, and so they would have plans in front of us, so then we can decide what we would like to choose.
Yeah, and again, there's not a lot of flexibility
Right.
with the geometry, so we can't really
Right.
improve like the circulation or the parking significantly, but we can look at a couple things, and then the things that come to mind, I think I mentioned this before, but just the ramp layout, the width,
Yeah, the width,
you
definitely.
know, things like that. The simple geometry, not necessarily like the driving geometry, but the geometry of the launch itself. So, and if you ended up not wanting a floating dock, we can look at other options for something that's static or stays in place year round. The floating dock could actually stay in place year round too, but something that's not floating.
I'm good with it, letting it go. Yeah. I'll make a motion to allow Strand to continue with this proposal.
Okay, do I have a second?
Do we want to put the dollar amount?
Yeah, let's put the dollar, Joy's right, for the approval of the proposal for $42,000.
42?
Mhm.
42,000, okay.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of signing the proposal for $42,000 with Strand for the boat launch? Say aye.
All right.
Aye. Opposed? Great. It's very exciting.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
all
you.
your
Thank
work
you.
on it.
Appreciate it.
Okay. We'll move on to discussion and possible action for the 5-year road construction plan. So Jeff and I talked about the need to look ahead at our road projects. It sounds like in the past you had done something like this, but it hadn't been done in quite a few years now, so we thought it was time to put something together. It's not set in stone, but put this together so as we move forward with budgeting, we can see what our challenges are for the upcoming years.
Where are we going to get all this money?
Well, that's it. I mean,
I think
you're
that-
absolutely right. But, the talk I've been hearing among board members and we've been doing for years is we need to start looking at our roads. There is some possibility of some grants, which the 5-year road plan is needed for them grants.
Right.
One of them, we are eligible for the LRIP, which is, should be having a meeting anytime soon. Generally, the county splits it up every time it comes around. 4 municipalities will get it, and we're up this time. So that's around 30,000. But we need at least a $60,000 project, which you're looking at these, we have good candidates here, so. The STP grant, generally 90 to 70% is covered. We'll score better on one of them if we do something up by the school. We'll get a better grading system, like
If we do something what?
up by the school.
Oh,
So for the
Potters
Potters
Like
Road.
Potters for
Or
the-
finish
yeah.
that Blue Jay Way, but Potters is the hot one, because it
Okay.
goes right to the school,
Yep.
Right.
so.
So when I did talk to Justin, and we talked to Brian Udovich from the county, but he just left the county. I talked to both of them, and Potters Road is a good candidate for receiving grants based on the location, proximity to the school.
Yep. Yeah, it wasn't, it was actually very difficult doing this, because of where do you stop on a road plan? It's-
so do you think in 2027, we're going to need work on Ripley Road already?
Yeah, Ripley Road went from a grade 9 over the winter for the Pacer rating to a 7, just by how the roads, how the cracks have started showing up.
Really?
We got longitude cracking that is, took a beating this winter because it went so deep. So that automatically puts it into a bad category. Um, We spent a lot of money on that road. You kinda wanna save it so it doesn't get any worse. That's why it's in here.
And when you say seal chip, what is seal chip?
Chip seal, pea gravel.
Not that gravel on top of the road.
That's really the only repair that is feasible for that size of road. But it gets swept up. We're not looking at that black stuff. The stuff we've been using out in the country is a granite, comes from the Waterloo plant, pit. It's actually been real successful because it's aggressive. It's hard on plow blades, but it lasts a long time. And there's not a lot of dust with it. And you don't have that pea gravel. So anything that doesn't get swept off and comes off with the plow is so small that it kind of just blends in with your grass. It doesn't form a problem like the pea gravel does, like we did in front of your dad's place. That was not.
Oh my God.
That was not the fractured stuff.
Yeah, that on Whispering Pines.
Yep.
Yeah, that was horrible.
That was horrible.
Yeah, that was the big stuff. We've gone to, that fractured granite works pretty good.
How late or early can you do this so it's not in prime time, so to speak?
You never want to go, to get the best results, you don't want to go past August, because you want some summer heat to help set it. So best would be to do it in April, May, and then get it swept. And then you got all summer for it to beat down in there, so the plow don't take much off. But we haven't seen a lot of plow taken off. Not like the old pea gravel was. That was terrible. So no matter how many times you swept it, it still had a lot of it.
Yeah.
So that's what the chip seal is. It's actually a fractured stone.
So some of these, we want to, we're not going to make decisions today for the next 5 years, but it's just for food for thought. But, some of them, like doing the seal coats and doing the overlay and doing them in the next few years, it'll help save them for needing a full reconstruction. So we have to look at, yes, it's going to cost us a lot of money for overlay, but if we don't do it by this year, we may need to do a whole reconstruction and it'll cost us a lot more money. So those are the kinds of things that we'll need to look at as we go. And it's my understanding from Jeff that for some reason, certain roads will just deteriorate very quickly compared to others. So we may need to readjust this each year based on our observations.
No, we have roads that don't move. I mean, a few potholes here and there, but the surface hasn't changed, integrity hasn't changed. Then we have some roads that, Ripley Road, for example, had a hard winter. You can't predict that. Generally, if you put a seal coat on a road, you can get in there 10 years on it before you're having to worry about anything. But you don't want to put that seal coat on a bad road. You want to do them when they're halfway decent yet. Otherwise, you're just throwing money away. So, yeah, here's just rough roads in a 5-year plan.
So this will be a working document or a live document that is subject to change throughout the years as we go forward.
Yeah, generally, they call it a 5-year, but it's a working 3. It constantly changes after. You kind of set your first 3, they can move around a little bit, but yeah,
We used to do this all the time, as you
Yeah.
recall.
Yep.
But back then, we had a road budget that was $200,000-300,000 or more,
Exactly.
remember? And then
Yep.
all of a sudden,
Yep.
the state kind of cut us off, and we couldn't, and then we just had to do it by whatever really
Yeah.
needed it.
Yeah.
Really didn't even need to go, this road's got to be done. We don't
Yeah.
have, all we have is minimal amount to spend.
Yep.
We just don't have the money.
Right.
How are we going to get the money?
So this is a better, a wish list would be even bigger, but this is kind of just to show what
It costs.
what it costs, what will be coming up. And if we can't do it, we can't do it, but, this is a better idea of.
And
Absolutely.
And now when the public is asking us, because everybody that's talked to me about roads, they're all on this 2028 section.
Okay.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, so can you use this as a working document and say, we've got you on the list, we really do?
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually better than,
Then to say.
Then
we-
you're
we-
setting expectations.
Yeah, but then we're not saying, we don't have any money, quit talking to us about roads.
Right.
Right.
you're tentatively on the schedule.
Yeah, okay, so this is
Yeah.
actually
Yep.
something they can use factually.
Right.
Because, Tom, you're right, when we did use it, there was a number of roads that would not be able to get done that year.
Sure.
Because just how,
It just get shifted.
Run
to
yeah,
out-
the
and
next
we
yeah, you run out
dropped
of
them down
time
and
or
dropped them down, and if they were holding out
Money
better,
needed the most.
they got kind of kicked off, so,
Right.
So Jeff, we got roughly 51 mile of road.
yep.
What's overall condition of the township roads?
Funny you should say that, I'm just about to start grading them again. We do that, state requires us to do that every other year. We're fair. I mean, we're more than fair. I would say we're not average. I think we're a little bit above average if you put the whole state in the towns. We've had a better tax base to work with.
Right.
So we've had problem is, things have come up and we concentrated our money on a total rebuild and not the little repairs like the seal coatings out in the country. I mean, majority of the country roads are over a mile long. That's a lot of money.
And Ripley and Park,
Yeah.
$2.5 million right there,
Yeah.
just for 2 roads.
Yeah. I mean, they needed to be done, and I believe they turned out really well. But yeah, they tied up a lot of money. So,
Okay.
I will
And
let
Wolf
you
too,
know.
our big roads are done, kind
Right,
of,
right.
the real big spends.
Yes. I will let you know in a couple months when I finish my report. I will bring it to the board and let you know exactly how we are on our grading.
Can you do a comparison from 2 years ago,
Yep.
just to see how
Yep.
they're holding up?
Yep. I can, yep. I can go
So-
from all of 2023 rates. I can bring them in after I get done with 2025. I probably shouldn't print them out because it's around 75 pages.
The report's fine. You can bring the report
Reader's
back to us.
Digest version.
Yeah,
Okay.
just a
That
summary.
can be an email
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
for those who can't sleep at night.
Exactly. So do you need a motion to approve
No.
this, or you just
No.
want to give it to us?
I just wanted everybody to be aware, come budget time, this is in your mind. And with the public wanting more information about how we're doing on our roads.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank
We can
you.
give
So
them some answers.
are you going to work on the LRIP?
Yes. Yep. Yep. I'm just waiting for information. I'm really surprised we haven't had a meeting yet. Because the applications are due November, I believe. October or November.
Okay, I'll reach out to the county and ask them when they're going to have that.
Yeah. I imagine they were probably waiting for the state to finish their budget, but this money's already been allocated
Okay.
prior to this budget time. So,
Okay, I'll reach out and I'll keep you posted what they have to say about that.
all right.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. Okay. So moving on to number 9, discussion and possible action on resolution 2025-02, parking restrictions on town roads. So the last couple of months, we've had, not today, I'm surprised, but we had a number of people complaining about parking on Sleepy Hollow, that it was a safety issue. So after our last meeting, Jeff and I drove around. There is some portions of that road that are narrow than others. It widens in one section of it. So I looked into if we could put a no parking on that road. And ordinance number 1 has a lot of different amendments, but I included the amendment that would apply here. So we can, with a resolution, create a no parking on that section on that road, and then put up no parking signs, and then it'll be in place. So it's just a thought that, you know, is this something that we would like to do now to, about, you know, keeping some of the residents happy on this road, but it would be, you know, complete no parking.
I
Yeah,
think we'd
this
have
is
to
in-
take a poll from them to see.
This is in response to the,
It's really,
Response to some of the people here, but it's
Yeah.
something that we really should be discussing and thinking about when
Right.
people come and they have these concerns. This is a way that we can handle it. We
Yeah,
can,
You'd have to see their reaction, because maybe some of them actually do some of the violating themselves.
well, if you're having
And if
your
you-
own parties or something,
yes.
I think
Yes,
this
that's
may,
what I'm saying.
this may be more applicable as part of a short-term rental thing. Isn't that where we're having some of this, some of the issues?
Yeah, but we can't do that. I mean, it's
You
an
can't
all or
kick them
nothing
out.
proposition.
Yeah.
We either have to have no parking or
Or-
everyone park. If, you know, you cannot, you know, our officers cannot distinguish is a
differentiate.
Yeah, I
resident,
hear
a
it.
visitor, or a renter. So it's an all or nothing. We can hold off and see how, you know, table it. But this is something that I wanted to bring up because this is really the true way that we would handle parking.
I would
per
want to,
our
I'd want to know how
ordinances.
the people fronting Sleepy Hollow feel about it. I'm fine doing it as long as that's what they want.
Yeah.
did you talk to some folks down there?
I did
They-
not yet. I thought that
Do they
they
have an,
would be
they don't
here.
have an association, do they?
They don't have a homeowners or anything like that.
I think they have a peer
Talk to Tootin and
association.
they'll all hear it.
I mean, I think if it's the majority want it, I think we should do it. I don't know how do we find that out, I guess,
I
besides.
think some of the parking issues were not all on the street. Some were parking in, you know, blocking driveway and,
Well,
you know.
blocking driveways, you can't do no matter what. So,
right.
um,
That's something that could be taken care of with short-term rental restrictions.
Well, anyone parking in front of someone else's driveway can be handled today. That we don't need anything else to do that.
Let's
Or-
call Scott, and if that's the case,
Yeah.
right?
Get the billy
Yeah.
clubs out.
You know,
I can give you some feedback on this if you're.
Okay,
Yes,
sure, yeah,
sure,
because you
please.
live in the area, right?
you can come on up.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
So, this, you're exactly right. This is an Airbnb on Sleepy Hollow, and it's right on the top of the hill there,
that's what I thought.
just to the north side of Porter Drive. And it's a large house that rents frequently. Unfortunately, it's very limited parking in their driveway. So they've been parking across the street on an empty lot, and the lady who owned the lot did not like that, of course.
Understood.
So she blocked it off with a bunch of logs.
Okay.
And so then the renters from that property were just parking on the street, which of course is a hindrance to people going through there as well as emergency vehicles. That's what we were more worried about.
Right.
Getting
Right.
ambulance and fire trucks through there.
So you can't enforce it unless there's a sign? Is that why we're here?
Well, technically right, because there's nothing to prohibit them from parking on that road right now.
So we need a sign so you can go and say you got it.
Although there really is limited parking along there anyway, as you know. You know, all of these side streets on
Right.
these on these roads here are all pretty thin and you know, when you have a party or some friends over, you're pretty limited on where you can go.
Right.
So it's a tough position to be in. On the other hand, it is an issue about getting emergency vehicles through there if an incident would occur on a weekend. And that's where mostly when the parking issues are. Sure. Fridays, Saturdays.
And this would allow you to fix that?
If
Right-
no
right
par-
away.
If no parking was on Sleepy Hollow, there'd be no issues,
Okay.
right?
Which is why we're looking at a resolution today.
Right.
Okay.
Right, so this is just an option we can do. We can poll them, we can get more, but once we're done, we're done. But this
Right.
is really the way to, you know, I talked to Chief Leonard, and, you know, this is something that can be easily enforced. And, you know, we don't have residential stickers and things like that. So yes, it would
Right.
prohibit everybody from parking,
Correct,
not
everybody.
just,
Right.
it's an all or nothing
So that would be the
proposition.
negative to it, is you're prohibiting the,
A good win-win solution, and I can't would be that for this lady to talk to the owner and charge him, and so she gets money.
Correct.
Especially if she's not using that lot. It seems to me, it seems real sensible. If I'm her, I'd call up and say, hey,
And just to
you know,
see-
I'm just, how do you find a solution that makes sense for everybody? There it is, but.
Right.
Right.
That
Why
property's
should I-
just been listed for sale, by the way,
Yeah.
so this week, so I just signed this one up, so.
Okay.
So buy it
See
and
if-
lease it out to them.
Yeah, that's, yeah. they
So
own it.
you are recommending a sign? Is that,
If you want to prohibit parking and make sure that emergency vehicles can get through there, then no parking would be the way to go. But you're gonna make a lot of people mad probably too.
Well, that's the problem, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you do some groundwork to
so
see
he
how that goes over?
Right.
But the question is, how do you enforce it?
Right.
You can put it up there, and it depends upon, we could enforce, we gotta, what I'm getting at
Right.
without,
Well, we
sa-
have
without
to-
saying it.
We have to have the patrol out and
Yeah.
seeing them parking, and then you could give them a sticker, you can have them towed
Mhm.
if needed.
I mean, could you give warnings for a while, and then after a few months start to, I mean, how
Yeah.
would you do it?
Yeah, I would say probably first of all, contact the Airbnb owners and make sure that they're aware that parking rules, restrictions have changed, and they're not gonna be able to allow their renters to park on the streets, and they have to inform their renters that there's no parking on the streets, would probably help a lot. But then, yes, patrol, or if somebody calls in and says there's parking up there, then we would probably go and give some warnings the first times to make sure that we get the message across, and then citations after that.
But we would have to put signs clearly, no
Yeah.
parking signs
Right.
throughout, and that's something that Jeff
And
can
Would
do.
take-
And I'm sure there's times during the year, whether it could be graduation parties or
Yes.
whatever, that local residents are going to be in violation of this. And quite frequently, I mean, just over a course of a year.
Yeah.
That's just
Yes.
life. Look at Lake Ripley Road, the same problem is there.
Right.
So
Right.
you just be careful what you wish for, but,
Yeah,
Right.
I agree.
But it's something that we really need to discuss, and, we can decide how we want to handle it. There may be other roads too that are narrow that are having issues as well, whether it's Airbnb issue or just residential. People, there are people who just tend to have bigger gatherings in general, but you're right,
I mean, for the most part.
For the most part, it's not
90%
bad.
of the time, the no parking on Ripley Road works.
right.
right.
And
I'm
if
not
there's a
saying- I'm
party-
not saying it doesn't.
Right, if there's a party, you don't see the cops giving a bunch of tickets. I mean.
No.
I mean, usually, right?
Right.
So, I mean, the signs do seem to work.
Yeah,
Well, that was kind of my comment
Right.
about how we do it, how
Right.
it's really enforced.
right,
Right.
right.
Well, we don't have a full-time department either,
Right.
so it's difficult to,
Enforce it all.
yeah.
I mean,
But when
anytime we
you-
look at this stuff, someone's got to enforce it all, and we don't have a lot of resources for all that.
But then if you put the sign up, it is going to deter people.
Sure,
I mean,
of
people
course.
are going to, if they
Because you're
see a
new,
no parking,
Coming in
that,
from out of town, staying at
People
this
that are
place,
into
and you're going to see the sign that says no parking,
rules.
right?
right,
People that are into
Well, and I
listening
know
to
our
rules.
neighbor,
Yes.
they had a party
Yeah, yes, I'm kind of on the.
living on Park
Yeah,
Road,
right, right.
and they got special
Push it.
permission to have their guests park on Park. Although we don't have any no parking signs, I don't think. I've never seen a no parking sign on Park. Is there?
Jeff,
You can
park on
Park Road.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be dangerous.
But I know-
That's at your own risk.
Maybe it
Yeah,
was
I
just
wouldn't leave
during
my
the
car near that road.
construction. I
That's-
just remember
Because
that
Ripley's
they,
less dangerous than parking in park.
Yeah.
It's Ripley.
Well, we can try it. If it doesn't work, we can always come back and revisit it. You know?
well, maybe we can put, or how was it
I
worded on the agenda?
I would table it at least
Yeah.
till we had a little more information. And let them know
The
we're
parking
certainly seriously about
restrictions.
what we're thinking.
On town roads.
Maybe we can
What's your action?
table it to
We
the
know who it's talking.
August meeting and specifically put
Yes.
to place no parking signs, so if we have any feedback, I mean,
Yeah, we can do that.
unless you all want to do it right now.
I think we can go out there and talk to some of the neighbors and see, get a better grasp on this.
Yeah.
Before we just put up a sign that they want us to take it down.
We can do that, but, we had to
Take it
bring it
down.
forward for discussion.
Right.
So we have to, have it here in this discussion, but if somebody wants to,
Yeah, I think we can certainly act if that's what they really want us to do.
Right,
I mean,
we can
It's your part of
certainly.
your neighborhood, but.
Yep,
And you
we just-
live
I
on
think
Sleepy Hollow?
He's
Porter.
off as
Porter,
Okay, in Porter.
west just.
which
Um,
is even narrower.
Well, let's do
Yeah,
this.
that's really in there, huh?
Let's bring it back next month and let's just
Yeah.
see if we can get more input from the
Yeah.
people down there.
Yeah,
Say, look, we're
let
gonna
people
probably
know.
do this.
Yep.
You guys okay? I mean,
Right.
If you want us to do it, we'll do it. is
right?
what we're-
I mean, because they were here
Right.
for 2 months talking about it.
Right, they were
They
here
were
for 2
upset,
months, so
yeah.
we need to address it.
Right.
And we can take a poll, maybe you can ask
Want to bring it back
around.
in August?
Sure.
Okay, so we will table
August
this
or
into
September,
August.
yeah, August is fine, whatever.
Yeah.
As long as we've got feedback by then.
Yeah. Okay, all right,
Thanks, Scott.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a short agenda this month.
Yay.
So the Enbridge update is next on our agenda, and that's short too. Last month there was a lot going on out there, but since that last meeting, all of the monitoring wells have been installed, and as I had mentioned last time, there are 10 locations, and at each location there's a well screened in the at the groundwater table, and then at 4 of the locations, there's a second deeper well that was installed. And I spoke with Caroline Rice at the DNR. I was touched base with her, and she stated that the environmental consultants, GEI, is currently collecting all those groundwater samples to be tested for the total VOCs and PAHs. And so those results will be sent to the DNR once they get those back. Within 10 days, they have to submit that. And then they will also be working on a complete report of all the monitoring wells installation, so that'll be forthcoming as well. And Caroline also indicated that the free product is continuing to be collected weekly from the riser pipes near the spill location. And they will be submitting reports monthly, but it is not up yet on the Birds on the Web for this month, so I'm not sure how much they've collected since last month. Last time it was about 120 gallons total that they had collected. And so she said that Enbridge is following their site investigation work plan in a timely manner, and it's all going well out there as far as their reporting, their activities, and so yeah, they'll just keep on
I
working.
just want to add that all the testing that the Lake Ripley Management District has done is everything's coming out fine.
Mhm.
So I know they're testing, and I think they've reported back here that we are also doing our own testing and sending them to an independent lab, separate from theirs. So
Perfect.
there's 2 different
Yes.
testing processes happening together, and all the information is matching to this
Right.
point, so.
Yeah, last month, we didn't have the Lake District's data back, but you're right, we did have the Enbridge's test results, and so they were consistent, and they are coming back clean. So that's, yes, so that's good news, and I think this, the monitoring well installation and those groundwater samplings will give us a really good picture of what's happening out there, and then they'll still be working on that soil leaf extraction study, and so they will then install that whole system, and I believe that'll probably be coming next year, or at the end of this year. So yeah, that's all I have for Enbridge, unless anyone had another question or comment. Okay, so we'll move on to correspondence. We have, usually Susan does those, but
Yes, sorry.
that's okay. So we do have a few things in the packet. Let me find mine. I've had mine in disarray now. We have in here the assessment, July 2025, understanding board review that Susan had received, and our open book is July 22nd from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then the board of review is August 11th, 3 to 5. So you should put that on your calendar. We'll need people here for the board of review. So that is,
What day is the 11th?
Monday.
I think I'm out of town. What day is it?
It's a Monday, I just looked at it.
Monday?
Monday.
Because I'm the one that's got to be here.
Yeah, you have to be
I'm the
here.
only one that's trained.
I might be
Right.
out of
But
town.
we need a quorum.
Right.
Right.
Right. So can you be here that day?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I looked at what day of the week that was.
Okay. So put that on your calendar, if you can come. Please let Susan know. And we have the Lake Mills Fire Department budget report in here. She also put on our desk a financial report for the first 6 months. It wasn't for discussion for today. It's here, a budget comparison. So it's just an opportunity for you to look at it this month, and we'll discuss it at next month's meeting. So you can make notes in this, and
That's this one here.
yes, so you can ask any questions you want. So review that for the upcoming month. It'll have, she wanted to make sure you had plenty of time to do that. And
So the boat launch fee, we charge that. It's not something that,
Correct, the town charges the boat launch fee.
right?
Yes.
Where did I read someplace it said that the management district charges
No.
$7?
We don't do any charging or enforcing.
I didn't think so.
no, you don't have any jurisdiction for that.
Nope. It's all town.
Okay. All right. So I guess the correspondence and the announcements were all wrapped together because we have the announcements were the board of review and review of the financial report from Susan. Do we have any other announcements?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right, so then we'll move on to approval of disbursements. You should have that on your desk as well.
I will make a motion that we approve the disbursements, beginning with electronic funds transfer to the IRS through and including check number 1417 to Visa in the grand total amount of $137,541.30.
I'll second.
Okay, any questions, comments? Okay, all in favor of approval of the disbursement, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. You can disperse those. So our next meeting will be August 19th. And then we'll move on to future board agenda items. So we'll have what I just mentioned for financial. We should have fire and EMS on there as well. And
So are we going to talk about like Lake Mills contract and Fort contract at that time?
most likely, if they're all set to go, you know, we have to make sure that it's gone through their attorneys and all that first. So then it should be.
Is anybody getting complaints on the garbage? What's going on with garbage pickup?
It gets picked up.
I got a second call.
Okay,
I got to call her back tomorrow, the same thing. She did a bulk pickup.
Yep.
And they never came. And then when she got them, they said, we'll come today, and they didn't come today either.
yeah, mine are still at the curb, so.
Yep.
I actually used the website, went and found the spot to request bulk pickup. We got 4 properties on my driveway, so each property is allowed 2 tires. I told them I had 5 tires out there representing the 4 properties. Please pick them up on bulk pickup day, and
They're still there when I rode through.
still
by.
sitting there. So
Yeah.
I told Laura and Laura, both Lauras.
Yeah, so I
and
talked to.
Susan,
Right, so we
trying to
talked
find
this
out what to do.
afternoon,
Yeah.
and I did go on that website. It was very confusing, but.
Yeah,
you-
and I left a message for Justin, so if he doesn't call me back, I'll give him a call back tomorrow.
If anybody's getting any complaints, we're trying to figure out a number we can call, because since they sold, it's hard to get a hold of
It
anybody.
is.
Right.
It is.
So we're trying to work through that and see if they can give us, you know, a better service. I think that some days they're coming very early.
Yeah, they gotta be consistent, because otherwise you don't get your stuff out there till the next week.
Right.
Get used to it when they come.
Right.
Yeah.
It changes, because they were always coming out of us around
Early.
8 or whatever.
Right,
Yeah,
but
now
with the
now
newer
it's
service, they're
lucky that
coming
somebody-
earlier. And I think with the holiday, they had to
Messed up.
get out there earlier because they had to make up for the day they missed. So I think it's best if you tell people to get their garbage out the night before.
Well, and I think the biggest thing is with the last
LRS.
LRS, we were able to call the number, somebody answered, and
Yes.
Yeah.
you got service.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I
I
agree.
mean, I called a couple times, the lady was,
definitely.
Holly, her name was really, she was really nice.
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Somebody
Yes.
was coming.
Scheduling a bulk pickup or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, you just called and get it.
Now it's like you can't find anybody.
Right, so Laura worked
Laura
on
found
it.
somebody though.
You found somebody?
Well, hopefully, like I said, if I don't have a call back, I'll call him again tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so we can try to get those bulk pickups. We don't want people's bulk pickups sitting there forever.
Right.
We want them picked up in a timely manner.
So it's a different number than,
Different everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's just
is
a
the
whole-
number on our site
He's a,
not the correct number?
No, that is the correct number.
right, but we found a point person that we can go to. They want the town residents to follow the protocol of calling the number that's on the website. But if these things continue to, pile
On our
up,
website,
yes, we have it out on our website.
okay.
But if these things continue to pile up, then we have a point person to go to say, hey, we've been doing what you said, our residents have been working with you,
Right.
now you
Okay.
need to step in and help.
One thing I
Okay.
found is you
Okay.
call the number, but if it's not regular operating hours during the
Yes.
day, you can't leave a message. So that's kind of.
Yep.
I mean, if you have to give them notice for bulk pickup and you call on Friday evening, there's nobody there to talk to.
Yep.
And so that's something we talked about to get clarification on when you need to call
Right.
for the bulk pickup.
Right.
Because they may have a different requirement than the LRS.
Right.
Yes.
So we need to figure that out and get that on our website for everybody to see.
If you're hearing anything or any complaints, yeah, I don't know if you guys are hearing anything, but
We're seeing it.
I don't,
Well,
No.
today was the first about the bulk pickup. There had been issues with just regular pickup
okay. Well,
for a week or two,
I
a few
think-
people.
I think some of them just didn't get it out soon enough.
Yeah.
time changed, like you said,
Yeah.
they got
Yeah.
the routine and they missed
Yeah,
it.
because Jeff said that they had been coming really early. So, I mean, LRS did that sometimes too, especially around holidays. They'd come
They
extra
generally
early.
Swing around again a little later and get it.
Right,
Especially
right,
if it's gonna be hot.
Right.
right,
Trucks don't like heat either.
right.
And it seemed like the recycling was okay. It was the garbage pickup. So I don't know if there's different guys doing it, different times that they're
Most
picking it
people
up.
just want to talk to somebody if there's a problem.
Right.
I mean, it's really that simple.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll try to
Yeah.
continue to work on that.
I
and-
don't
Yep.
think we've had any, I mean, we've got like a whole block of garbage cans out there and when it's recycle week, and I haven't heard any of our neighbors.
No, we've had the pickup, but they have come early. I just take it out the night before. So, yeah, we'll keep you posted on that,
Yep.
Jimmy.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
all right.
So did you ever get a hold of Badger Solar for them
Oh.
to explain things?
Yes, thank you for that. I did talk to somebody, and he's really far away, and so he's like, can we have a, could I just come down? And I didn't want a special meeting, but I asked him that, to have a month that he can come down here and coordinate with other activities, so he's not just coming down for 10 minutes for this meeting, because he doesn't live
For what?
nearby.
For about what?
For Badger Solar, or see if there's somebody to come to
Yeah.
a meeting to discuss it.
I mean, I think some of our residents would be interested in hearing, with all this scare with the other solar company. I just want any residents that would like to speak about it or, find out
Oh,
what's
I agree,
happening.
I agree, but he lives, quite a few hours away and was reluctant to come down here this month, but I was trying to be accommodating. Please come, is there a way that you can coordinate, here's when our meetings are, could you please coordinate when you come down with these meetings so that, we'd have an opportunity
So the
to have
details
you.
of this one are that it's out on Prairie Road somewhere?
Yeah, it'll be partially in the town of Oakland and partially in
Town of Jefferson?
town of Jefferson. And so I don't believe that the arrays have, well, last time we talked to them, their arrays were not finalized.
Correct.
So yes, I will reach out to them again, but I did talk to them a couple of weeks ago about coming down. So I will continue to.
Has anything changed from our original passage of all that?
No,
No, nothing's changed, they're just finally getting to it.
yes.
They're just totally delayed.
Right.
Yeah, they were just totally delayed.
Better things to do.
Right. But the joint develop agreement between them and the county, us, and the town of Jefferson, none of that has changed. Once the arrays are finalized in the locations, then we'll have a better understanding of how the utility tax, that revenue share, will be distributed between the two towns. So it'll be based on the usage there. So that's the only thing that is kind of unknown in that agreement.
Okay.
But I'll continue to ask them to come down. I think it's a good idea.
So let's back to the garbage. Our contract goes for a while with them, is that correct?
27, I think. I think it goes till 27 or something.
I think so too.
That I don't know.
Okay,
Okay.
I just couldn't remember. I knew it was a long contract.
Yeah. So they will need to abide by that contract with the cost and all of that. They originally wanted to charge more money, but
So it's not something that we need to research now?
No.
You know, costs and
No.
stuff.
we'll just continue to work on getting the service improved and also getting information out to the residents.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So
Make
I
motion to
entertain-
adjourn?
Yep, I'll entertain
Okay.
a motion.
There we have it.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Right.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.